Welcome to Wine with Friends, where meaningful connection and thoughtful conversation are always present when we share wine intentionally. This evening, I have a special guest, serial restaurateur, owner of Oakwood Pizza Box, owner of Capital Pizza Box, Saint Pierre Wine Bar, Tutti Pizza in Charleston. I mean, this guy's all over the place. Anthony Guerra, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome to be here. I actually forgot about some of the things that we did, so I'm glad you walked through that.
You got all this stuff going on, man.
To that. You know, my mom, she may not be thrilled with everything I've done, but I feel like it's like, Mom, I'm okay.
So did I get everything?
I think that's everything.
All right, so we got 3 pizza shops.
3 pizza shops.
Wine bar.
Wine bar.
What else is coming? What's
next? God. Oh, no. I don't know. What else is coming? My daughters cornered me. This summer, we should back up a little bit. Sure. This year, we opened up 3 of them.
Wow.
We did 3 places in a 6-month run, although they took years to actually get on the
Okay, so they've
track.
been in the works.
It's in the work for a long time.
Okay.
And it really overtook the summer. The girls cornered me, sat me down, and we need to talk.
All right, how many girls you got?
I have 2 girls.
2 girls.
2 girls, one boy. He just does whatever they tell him to. He's toast. He's the little guy. They said, Dad, you can do anything you want, but we're not doing any more restaurants during the summer.
Okay.
We need to have a real summer. So my goal is build a real summer for the girls. That's my number 1 next goal.
I love that. I love that. Well, my next goal is going to be to open this bottle of champagne. Oakwood Pizza Box. If you don't know, you got to know. You want to give everybody just a quick rundown of Oakwood and how that started?
Yeah.
The way that I think about Oakwood Pizza Box is phenomenal pizza, incredible wine list, and amazing champagne. And so to hear that someone was doing something so special in Raleigh with pizza, but also champagne, which is why I thought it'd be fitting for us to start with a bottle of champagne, which we'll get into a little bit later. But tell us a little bit about Oakwood and how that got started.
Oakwood is really my life, right? So the decor is those pizza shops that I remembered in the early 90s.
Okay.
My wife and I were expecting, we always knew, I was always in restaurants. Back up. Always in restaurants, always knew we'd be in restaurants, love restaurants. I thought it'd be a maitre d' when I grew up. I thought it was like my whole life's mission. If I could graduate with a degree so my mom is happy, I'm gonna go be a maitre d' in a big city and just dominate a room.
Love it.
But for me, half of my career was pizza, half of my career was front of house. So Oakwood is sort of both together. I'd spent my front of house time as a sommelier and my back house as a pizza guy. So naturally, we would put the 2 together. Okay. And let's make a neighborhood spot. So wine is always a big part of what we love and what we do. Champagne is a natural pizza pairing, which I don't know that everybody...
Tell us more. Tell us more. Say it louder for the people in the back. Champagne is a perfect pizza pairing.
Champagne, first of all, there's a range in champagne, right? You have your oyster, high minerality, high acid, bright Chardonnay. You have your full Pinot. You have your fruity Meunier. You have everything in between. I think people need to drink more champagne in general.
Cheers to that.
And eating with champagne is truly, truly one of my favorite things. We use a lot of hard cheeses at Oakwood, so we use a Grana Padano that's aged for 24 months.
Wow.
So that's the finish. So you have the cheesy goodness, you bite into a pizza, you get it. The finish on Grana is what makes it snap with champagne. That's the key.
All right. 100% Pinot Meunier. This one right here. This is only the 2nd champagne that I've ever had that's 100% Meunier. But first of all, you were talking a little bit earlier before we started. As I was opening the champagne, this would normally be foil, but this was paper.
Yes.
And you know a little story about this producer and why he's thinking about doing that?
Yeah, Cedric Mousset is a wild man. If you meet Cedric, he is obsessed. So I had time with him in New York, and I actually traveled the next week, and we were in Houston together. So naturally in Houston, he's like, who the hell are you? Where are you? How do you show up everywhere? You're not from either place. Why are you here? So whatever, we get into it. So he's really big on sustainability. The paper here, obviously, will just go back to the earth and it'll disappear. It's not going to stay around for a long time. His bottles are lighter, Obviously, the natural practices are in the vineyard. He's biodynamic, very, very concerned about the health of the earth. But he's one of the only producers, one of the first producers to be so obsessed that he makes his own sulfur.
Interesting.
So he has a sulfuring machine at the winery that he makes his own pure sulfur. So I only poked this gentleman with that.
Yeah.
And then he took a chart, a piece of paper, pen, started writing all of the chemistry formulas to create sulfur, which I did not do well in chemistry. I'm sure no one in the Chapel Hill chemistry department remembers me. I barely passed. I skated through. I got my prereq.
What were you taking chemistry for?
Oh God, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. I got led astray. I should not have been in that room. But he's that obsessed. And so the purity of the sulfur is what he actually would think is the problem with sulfur in wines in general.
Okay.
It's not just quantity of sulfur, but how the sulfur is derived.
Mm-hmm.
So
why do we have sulfur in wine?
Sulfur generally, in the United States, what's critical for us when we look at French wine is transport.
Okay.
If you and I were right there,
ship.
Maybe we can do things a little bit differently, but stabilization in shipping is really, and preservation. So that's not like that. You could catch the fresh fruit of a Meunier. It jumps out. Sulfur is going to protect that. If you over-sulfur a wine, if you overdo anything, it'll ruin it.
Right.
But if you under it, this wine might be volatile, oxidative, just not delicious. The quantity is critical.
It is delicious.
This is killer. I love his wines.
So I'd never heard of this producer. Talked to our good buddy Femi earlier today, and he helped me select this wine. Shout out Femi and Graft Wine Shop down in Charleston. We're coming for you soon, I hope.
Easily one of the most brilliant human beings I've ever been around.
I totally agree.
Off the charts. Off the charts smart. Like, he makes me, A, eager to learn more,
mm-hmm.
and B, I immediately go, wow, I know nothing. Like, wow.
But that's one of the beautiful things about wine.
Yes.
That I love that there's so much to learn. It's funny you mentioned Femi and how knowledgeable he is. I would argue I feel very similar about you and your knowledge of wine. I was very surprised. Don't take this the wrong way. You got this guy who owns a restaurant.
Yep.
I was very lucky to spend some time with you in your home. I appreciate you being so hospitable, drinking wine with Femi. And to hear you talk about wine, I was like, man, I thought this was just like a pizza guy. I mean, I saw the wine list at the shop, but you obviously really know your wines as well. And so what it does for me is like, man, there's so much to learn here. There's so much to dive into. And this is like a whole world of exploration here. Is that something that you also kind of experienced in wine?
Oh, 1,000%. But you could learn about the past, the present, the future. You could learn about the evolution of regions just by opening bottles of wine. I'm a curious mind no matter what. So whatever, and I'm obsessive. So I think, as soon as I grab something, I'm into this. Like, I have a couple new obsessions, which probably not great obsessions, but they're obsessions now. But for me, wine is, no matter what, you can learn so much. Like, you could look at champagne and go back 100 years plus, and you could talk about what changed, what's going on. I mean, we could talk about what I find interesting is this is 100% Meunier.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents, even if they were curious drinkers and really looking and searching, they would not have had the opportunity to drink a 100% Meunier.
Mm.
That has a lot to do with modern farming practices in Champagne, climate change. No matter where anyone feels on this,
yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's different. Warmer in Champagne. It is getting slightly warmer. And what's happening is that these varietals are ripening at a different pace. And there is a greater care to this grape. This was always sort of the forgotten third child
mm-hmm.
to Chardonnay and Pinot. Those were always the star kids. And now it's Meunier's turn. And I think Meunier is the most compelling to me of the three.
Interesting.
Chardonnay is delicious. It has time and place. Pinot can be done incorrectly. It can be done beautifully, although it's dangerous. Meunier can be the most compelling or most exciting.
And why is that? What is it about Meunier that you think is?
I don't know. Is it just a new thing for me? Is it just a new thing and it's an exotic thing? It's a fun thing. Producers are making it in different styles. I just drank a bottle from Jerome Dehor. Jerome was in town, actually, which is super cool. He's actually around the corner from Cedric Mousset. He lives essentially in the same region. They're doing 100% Meunier. He does it out of a Solera or at a large Foudre. It'll date back 20 years on his. The wines are incredible. Like they sit outside, have a cigar, sip this thing, like wait, hang out with it for a really long time, which they're super interesting.
So you mentioned champagne being a great pairing, the perfect pairing for pizza. I like that.
Yeah,
perfect pairing for pizza.
I'm good with that.
But you just mentioned cigars. Champagne and cigars.
Take time. Like if you sit and take time, I think there's some things that make you stop. My life is so stressful. If going and doing things and running and the next thing at my phone and what am I missing? Stopping, I think, is the key. And when you catch a great bottle of champagne, it'll make you do that. Cigars do the same thing. You're not really like, let me go, I'm on the run.
Right.
You know, Tony Soprano did it in the Suburban and he's just like cruising. But most people just sit and you're sitting down and you're enjoying it and you're spending time with it. Jerome actually brought up the pairing. He was talking about, I smoke cigars with this wine. And I was like, really? I don't know, but that sounds like a great idea.
I love cigars and champagne.
Dude, I looked at it, I was like, yeah. We did talk about it off camera. I was like, you know what, maybe.
Why not?
This might be an afternoon, an evening here.
I hear you. All right, so when did you, yes, please, thank you. When did you know that you were into wine? Do you remember the moment? Do you remember what you were drinking? Do you remember who you were with? Like, when did it click for you that like, oh man, I want to explore this?
Okay, it's two-part.
Okay.
Two-part. So a story that I've only told my dad recently.
Okay, love that. Exclusive.
This is an exclusive. I only told him recently. So my uncle was always into wine. He always had wine. He had, we're talking early 2000s, late 90s. This is the Robert Parker era. This is California. Here's big wine. He was a wine collector. He was going through, for some reason, we were holding his wine in our house. We had a basement. My dad's not a drinker. My mom's not a drinker. Like, they don't, maybe there's a bottle of Dom Perignon like once or twice. But not like, we didn't drink, wine wasn't on the table. Alcohol, maybe there's a beer with spicy chicken wings or just Chinese food. But there's no beverage pairing.
And this is in Long Island?
Long Island.
Got it.
But in the basement, I started seeing labels that were really interesting. And if anyone's ever seen a Turley bottle, like those Turley, sort of like the Hershey Kiss shape, big wide bottle, like it's so distinct. So I remember seeing them, and I was dating someone at the time, and I was like, we should do this is really great. I'm going to take one of these bottles. No one will ever know. We'll drink this. Oof. No one ever found out.
Interesting.
No one ever found out. The bottle actually was a Turley Hain Vineyard Petite Syrah 2005.
Okay.
Which, if that's your first reference point, if anyone's ever had it, we're talking about probably 15.5 alcohol, full blast, like absolute max output.
That's a
like
lot.
This
That's
is
a
the
heavy boy
upper
right
limits. I came clean with my dad though on that because
when did you come clean with him?
Like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. And
20 years later.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I did.
Better late than never.
Yeah, exactly. Catholic guilt is a thing. Like, finally, the point I have to admit this. I did, penance and all that. Because the wine world brought me Tegan Pasalacqua, and he's a brilliant winemaker in California.
Okay.
And Tegan and I were in the same room, talking about wine and learning this thing and doing this. And he said, what was the first wine you ever had? And I said, it was '05 Hain Petit Syrah. He sort of stares at me funny. He goes, the first wine I ever made was '05.
Shut up.
Hain Petit Syrah.
Dude, that's sick.
So my uncles loved the wine since, and I have to get him. He always throws these big birthday parties. I have to get a bottle sent to him from Turley. We're still working on this, but I want to return the bottle now here 20 years later or whatever it is.
That's awesome.
But that's sort of the first entry point into wine. But my family and I opened up a restaurant right out of Chapel Hill. So right after college, we opened up a pizza place, and we talked about my dad's wine pairing knowledge, non-existent. My brother doesn't drink at all. It was me, him, and my dad. So I was like, all right, well, I'll do the bar. I know very little about this, but I'll read some books and we'll go to work. And that's what I did. Incessantly read. I would digest books, draw maps, all that kind of stuff. And then fortunately, there were some great wine reps that helped guide me through actual tasting and seeing the wine in real life. But it's always those stories, like with Tegan, the connection between the people and the wine that always hit for me. Like I'll look at these, I'll see Cedric's face smiling, laughing, drawing this the most elaborate SO2, H2O split into O2 after heated at this point. Like I'll always remember that. I always think of him. And that's what makes wine, it's really stick for me.
You know, I was at a wine dinner a couple months ago, and the chef came out before the food came out, and he gave a little bit of a speech, and I don't remember much of what he said, but one of the things he said, a little phrase that I caught was stories over scores. You know, being more interested in the story than just the score. You know, you go to the grocery store or wherever really, and a lot of times people want to tell you the score, whoever it is, whatever, wine critic, whatever wine critic out there, here's the score, but the story, right? So like hearing the story about Turley and knowing that you've met this producer and what that means for you to look at this bottle and see his face and, to have gone to the vineyards and explored that. And I feel like if we can lead with those stories about the wine and about the people who are making them.
Absolutely.
For me, the scores don't really matter not nearly as much.
No,
right?
I agree 100%. I'm one of those people, and with the restaurant's success and with having people trust us and believe in us, I believe in I'll buy the people, and regardless of vintage reports, I'm buying it and I'm going to stay with them, and I'll stay with you forever. I'm incredibly loyal. My wife and I both we're going off the cliff with you. What do you need? We're there. It's always that. I think right now, I'm going to take this in two directions. First direction, Cedric, in 21, there's an awful vintage. He loses his entire production. There's no Meunier made. He has nothing.
What happened?
Frost and hail. Frost and hail. Wipe everything out. So in 21, there's a bottle, Les Orange. And if you guys see the label, it's a bunch of men on there. It's his friends. I believe it's 11 people came together and gave him a portion of their vintage it's Chardonnay. Cedric doesn't make a Blanc de Blanc. Mm-hmm. Cedric made a Blanc de Blanc because he had nothing.
But his friends gave him enough to make some wine that year.
That's how he made wine that year. He would have otherwise made absolutely no wine. And that's like a really cool, his vintage is, 21 should. Don't drink 21. It's like, wait, give me that bottle.
Right.
So we bought a bunch of that. I don't have any left because that story clearly, everyone immediately is like, I have to see this bottle.
Yeah.
But if you see it around the wine shop, it's one person with an umbrella, and he's like, this is the most important vintage to me because I had nothing. My friends came through with everything. And I think we see that now in California and in Oregon. Mm-hmm. I think it's very important to me now. I'm always, you and I could talk about champagne in France until the end of time. My mentor and I went to California this summer, and we toured vineyard sites. him and I both drink more Burgundy than we can really, it almost makes me giggle how much Burgundy we drink. Life is good and we drink all these great wines, but in California right now, I think with the decline, I don't know if you want to call it declining in drinking and the danger in this, if you want to talk about post-COVID, running a business is incredibly hard. I mean, good God, I think we all can admit to that. Inflation, all these factors make it even harder to do business in this country, in California, and to make wine. So I really try to champion a lot more of that than I ever have in my career, because it's the people. I mean, we can't have this without them. And I think at this point, that's why Pierre has a pretty significant slant to California, which I don't know if 10 years ago, I think that Pierre would have looked different. And I think that's kind of a story of where we are today in 25, and here we are looking forward, and what are we going to do?
Yep.
Maybe that's also part of tariffs, right? I mean, these bottles are getting more expensive out of Europe, so maybe we should look domestically. I don't know. Whatever, the wind's blowing us around, and I'm looking to see what I can do for my friends. We'll do anything for them. So we're working on some private label stuff, which is really fun.
Okay. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, no, we.
I mean, I want to.
So Michael Cruz, a dear friend of ours, is working on. I called him up one day. I was like, "Listen, man, I sell a lot of Lambrusco. What would you do if you made a Lambrusco?" And I mean, what's the rating? Is this a rated show? And you bleep me out if I'm in trouble here. But he answers the following. He says, "Wait, what? What did you ask me?" And I said, "Oh, what about Lambrusco? Like, how would you make Lambrusco?" He makes ultramarine in California, probably it's probably the greatest when you pick a Charlie Heinz Blanc de Blanc and you drank it right now, it's almost every bit the octane of any champagne you'll have. Like, it's the only one that can get that close.
Got it.
It's that amazing. He's spectacular, and his project, Cruise wines are really good too. Great pet nats, great sparkling, everything bubbles. So, God, can we do Lambrusco? Like, that'd be fun. Like pizza, Lambrusco.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go to Charleston, some of the Charleston, we'll send some of Raleigh. Like, this is going to be great, Michael. He goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, "Oh, it was a bad idea." He's like, "It's a terrible idea," and he hung up. Absolutely unprovoked. 6 months later, he goes, "Listen, I've been thinking about it.
Oh.
It's not the worst idea."
6 months he had you thinking about it.
Oh, God. It took me 6 months. He called me out of nowhere. And I was like, "God, I felt terrible for 6 months, Michael." And he's like, "Okay, but if we do it, it has to be my way." And I was like, "Of course it's your way. Of course.
All right.
I want nothing to do with that. You know that. I'm only here to just provoke. Just move the idea to the middle of the table.
Right there, man. Good
just
teamwork.
push it there. Go." So we're talking to that. We'll see where that goes. That is in production now. Hopefully it makes it.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. But no, the wineries now, they love us and we love them, and it's great to be able to have fun projects. I think it's the most fun I could have right now.
So you talk about people. And we've already heard some great stories about some of the people that you've met through wine. But when you think about the people, your experience over the last 20 plus years of being in the industry, who are some of the people that stand out to you in terms of the relationships that you formed and built through this world of wine?
Oh, God. I mean, I think first person is my mentor is William Durney.
Okay.
Billy Durney is almost like the North Star. I call him up, and he absolutely will shoot it as straight as an arrow. Think of it like we're a basketball coach. He's not Bobby Knight, but it's intense.
Whew.
We'll go like it is straightforward. If you have a bad idea, you're gonna get it, or you're not running it right, or you're not keeping it tight. He's the first guy. I'm like, no. He's not Bobby. He's not as intense as Bobby. He's more Ricky P. Okay. I got Ricky Pitino on it. You know,
okay.
you gotta work. Like, you gotta play that guy.
Now, was he in the wine industry as well, or
he's restaurant and wine?
Okay.
He's exposed me to. With him, I've drank some of the greatest bottles of wine I've ever had. Drinking with him, you could drink with. I met Pascaline Lepeltier from him. I mean, Pascaline, one of the greatest honors of my life. Pascaline is easily one of the most impressive sommeliers in this country, and she is an absolute force. Walking into a restaurant with Billy Durney, and there's Billy walking 3 steps ahead of me. I'm 2 steps behind. My best friend, Jason Stanhope, James Beard award-winning chef in Charleston's there with us. And she goes, wait, are you the pizza guy in Raleigh? I look at him, and I look at Jason, and I go, I am. She's like, I heard about that. Like, I heard about you. And she blinded us on a bunch of wine, and I got them absolutely wrong. I got absolutely destroyed. I was
And
like,
that's part of the journey, though, man.
it is. She poured Muscadet, back vintage Muscadet. It was 05 Lunel Papin.
05 Muscadet.
I was like, I didn't even know that wine could hate. Like,
I didn't either.
I
lived out there.
I'm telling you, it was beautiful. I was like, I don't know, it's some sort of Chard Jura, Sauvignon blend from Jura. Like, I don't know where I'm at. It's not Chablis. It's not. I was rolling through everything, and then I was like, oh, I'm out. I'll quit.
That's all right, man. That's
No,
dope.
but she's brilliant. Obviously, I think I'd be remiss to not talk about my partners in Charleston as people in this industry. I mean, Femi and Miles, we have a beautiful pizza place down there together, and Graft has been a great source of.
Love Graft.
Graft's great. Graft is great.
Everything about it is just perfect.
It's such a curated list too. It's such a safe place to just feel like, I don't know, I'll just grab a bottle. Like, literally just grab one.
Okay, so talk about that. You talk about being a safe space for wine. How do we get away from this pretentious, kind of inaccessible feel around wine?
You know, I think Femi is so good at this, and Miles is so good at this. You ever see Femi talk on Instagram, by the way? Can we talk about it for 30 seconds?
Sure.
The Move. Have you seen a Move on Instagram?
No, I've not seen the move.
Okay,
No.
The Move. All right. So everyone's homework is follow Graft, and Femi will do The Move.
Okay.
And it's this like short clip of him explaining a bottle.
Yep.
Do you know how good Femi is?
I have seen the move, yes. Oh, I know how good
Femi
he is.
is so good that I got 3 phone calls after he released The Move. One was my wife. Okay, that was expected. Okay, again, like you.
Why are we not doing the move, or just?
No. Like, hey, that bottle of wine. Can we get that bottle of wine? And it's like, yeah, it's been in Pizza Box for like 3 months, and you haven't touched it. You didn't give a crap about that
Until
bottle.
Femi started talking about it.
Femi talked about it. Like, I gotta have it. It's like, it's sitting there. It's $35. It's great. I've said it was great. Oh, never mind. Okay. Then my mom called me. She's like, wow, that was really good. What is that? It was a bottle of Timorasso from Italy, from the Piedmont, forgotten varietal that should have gone extinct, that got saved, that makes beautiful white wine. Right near, right where you're going to grow every Barolo and all the Nebbiolos and everything that's famous.
Okay.
Timorasso is beautiful. And then my mother-in-law, which immediately when you see a call from your mother-in-law, you're like, oh,
Nervous, huh?
shit.
Yeah, what I do.
Oh, no. She's like, hey, I saw this. I'm looking for a wine. I was like, what wine are you looking for? And, we walked through it. I'm like, Timorasso. Oh, did you see Femi talk about Timorasso from the Piedmont in Italy? Yeah. And it was so cute, but I left her a bottle of Timorasso. She helped us with the kids when we were in Houston, so left her with that. It was beautiful. But that's Femi's ability to talk to wine professionals, regular people.
Anybody.
Anyone. And it's when you really know something so well that you can just explain the concept without it being, there's no work to this. Mm-hmm. Here it is. Being casual. I think the sommelier, to me, when I was a somm on the floor, I always picked a bottle that was cheaper than what you were looking at, and I made it a competition. If you pointed at a bottle between this bottle and that bottle, I'm going to go underneath in cost because you're going to have me over there. I'm going to find a better bottle of wine, and it's going to be cheaper. You're going to save money, have a great night, and you're always going to talk to me the rest of your life. Yeah. I'm your guy.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm saving you money. We also, here's a hidden trick that we always have a bottle or two, or sometimes more, that is slightly above wholesale cost.
Okay.
It's a gift. If you find it, it's my gift to you.
Interesting.
Some wine professionals get mad as a hornet about it.
Yeah.
You're exposing the margins.
Right.
What is wrong with you? But I'll tell you a good wine experience I had. I was at Babbo, must have been 15 years ago. Babbo was like one of the hot spots in New York City. This was Mario Batali and Joe Bastianich before Mario had all of his transgressions and got 86th. But great food. And Joe Bastianich, Lydia's son, did the wine. And the Somm team it was a beautiful Italian wine list. I was 20 years old with a fake ID. Let me see the sommelier, let me see the wine list. This is great. So we go there and clearly I know maybe nothing, less than nothing. And the Somm clearly picks up on the fact that, well, he doesn't pick up on the fact that I'm under 21, that's fine. He does pick up on the fact that I know nothing and I am going to college and I'm broke and I'm just taking my girlfriend out to Babbo and please. He picked out a bottle of Sicilian Red. I fast forward, it's one of the first bottles I looked to get to when I ran the wine list in our first restaurant in Columbia. The bottle was $15 more than wholesale cost.
Not bad.
I never forgot that. Because I was like, that Somm threw me a lifeline. And I bet you they leave treats around the list. I don't actually know this to be true, but I believe it to be true. And I don't want anyone to dispel this myth.
I think you're right, man.
Have treats. Have treats.
I mean,
It'll be fun.
I don't know everything about, the prices of wines and how great wines are, but, I look around a lot. And there's definitely some times where I'm out and I'm like, man, that's not that expensive.
No. In my pet peeve is when restaurants go for monster markups on it. That era is done. It should be done. We should kill it. We should all move on. You're not going to pay the mortgage. You're not going to pay the rent on one bottle of wine anymore. Maybe that was the case. It's done. Kill it. But we all should talk about this as being a beautiful wine as a reasonable price.
Yeah.
I think the restaurants that don't sell wine is because the pricing is insane. It shouldn't be insane. It doesn't have to be. I want to see you every week. At Pizza Box, I want to see you every week. We see most of our guests at least 4 times a month. A lot of them, we see 6 times a month.
Wow.
If I see you 6 times a month, I don't want to.
Right.
I want you to just keep cruising. Yeah, of course. A lot of people come into Pizza Box and they'll buy a pizza and a 6-pack of wine. Great. This is great for everyone. There's no negative. The producers get to move volume. We get to show you great stuff. You trip and fall, and I know we've drank our Pepe together. You trip, fall, and drink a bottle of our Pepe and eat a pizza. You're at a great place.
Great spot. Yes.
It's better for me as a restaurateur, as a wine lover, just a general person.
You talked about how when you were a Somm on the floor, you wanted to make it a competition. You wanted to find something cheaper, better. In your mind, when you think about a sommelier, again, this is getting back to people getting a little nervous about approaching sommeliers, thinking about, I don't know enough to ask questions, or I feel uncomfortable with this conversation.
Yep.
What is it that you think is the job of a true sommelier?
You're a tour guide. I'm not selling you tickets. I'm not selling you others. I'm making sure that your journey is exactly the journey you want to take. Where do you want to go? Some people, listen, I had somebody walk into Pizza Box, maybe this was 5 months ago. Guy walks in, never saw him in my life, solo diner. Walks into the champagne cooler, grabs a bottle of Krug Rosé. Right away, bang, puts it on the table. I was like, all right.
Okay.
I look at my staff immediately. I'm like, I got this one.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen here, but I got this one. And he looks at me and he goes, who owns this place? Well, it's me, whatever. Because I heard about you. Okay, great. He's like, I heard you have rare stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, we do. What are you looking for, buddy? You drink a Krug Rosé. This is a $500 plus bottle of champagne. Yeah. Immediately walk in, bang, that's what we're starting with. And that guest, he's like, I'm looking for the exotics. And so I was like, we got exotics. And so he actually wanted a bottle. It was a Coche Courtauld and Charlemagne 2016.
Okay. And you had it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have exotics. But that guest wanted that. I was like, you want exotics? I was like, all right, I need 15 minutes, drink this. I had my wife. She was probably doing bath time with the kids. I was like, there's a bottle. It's on the left cooler. Go down 6, right-hand side. This is what it looks like. Pull it. put it in a Yeti. I'll be right there. Kept it cold. The Yeti moved it. Opened the bottle. I mean, it was that guest was an $11,000 ticket. 3 bottles of wine, 1 pizza.
3 bottles of wine.
It was bananas.
3 bottles of wine.
3 bottles of wine, 1
pizza. $11,000.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But like that guest wanted that journey, but most guests do not want that journey.
Right.
So I'm here for like, okay, hey, it's a first date. Cool. You want a great first date wine?
Right. We're all on different journeys. I'm not on the $11,000 1 pizza journey.
I wish I was. Man, it was a wild. But it turns out, he was in Beaune. He lives in Beaune in Burgundy.
Okay.
Is making wine now in Burgundy. Born in Washington, D.C. I looked him up and I talked to him. We had a long conversation. Unbelievable journey. But like that was a rocket ship. Like, okay, you want to ride a rocket ship. Okay. But we also have to be ready for, it's my first date. What are we going to open? I don't know her. She's staring at me. I want to look like a hero, but I don't want to spend that much money. Right. I got you.
Yeah.
You know, like we have that bottle too.
Exactly.
It's really tour guiding. It's not upsells. I hate the approach. A lot of restaurants actually compensate sommeliers on percentage of sales. I vehemently hate it.
Because you think that's leading them down the path of, let me just
100%.
sell the most expensive stuff.
I don't want you to hunt everyone like that. It's the guy who lives in Beaune.
Yeah.
That's not most people, and I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. I want to move them into the right thing. Some of it might be a great, here's a bottle I love right now, Maxi Magnon. Demerante, chillable, crushable red. The bottle's great. I think it's $40 in Pizza Box right now. Drinks like a bottle that could be double, triple the price. Drink that. It's phenomenal. Like, literally first date, pour it for 20 people. 20 can be like, oh, I like that bottle. What is that?
There you go.
Perfect. I would rather do that. I would never compensate anyone on percentage of sales. That's not the point.
Yeah. Well, I think that we need to hear a little bit more about that in the world of wine. You know, like, let me help you go on your journey. Not, let me sell you the most expensive stuff, or let me make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about, and I'm like.
It's the worst.
Exactly.
There's nothing worse than that. At hiring for Pierre, I can openly admit I'm difficult to work with. I am aware of my. I am aware of it. I know. I just did whatever. We can get into that later. But I've done a lot of studying on myself and why I'm this way. My wife describes it as persistent dissatisfaction.
Okay.
I'm happy, but persistently dissatisfied. I'm always trying to like inch it forward.
Trying to get better.
And just a little bit.
That's it.
Fall forward.
Okay.
That's progress.
I like it.
Fall
forward.
Some days you climb. Some days you fall. If it's forward, it's good. But we done this. Everyone goes around the room. The usual like icebreaker stuff, which was great. And it's like someone's like, I love terroir-driven wines of place and balanced. And I was like, what the fuck out of here? Stop it! Immediately stop. No. I'm a level 6 man. I take all that. Shut up. What the fuck do you like? What moves you? What is compelling? What's delicious?
Yeah.
Don't tell me about. Don't you get out of here. Vaguely French terms don't work here. Just talk about it normally.
Exactly.
Be a regular person. I think more people would drink wine. And I think it's coming. I think it is coming. I think it's that era is, I think, closing. I think with information flowing, I hope restaurants get on board and get on the train. It's very obvious where it's going. And I hope sommeliers just chill out. Learn a bunch so that you can digest the information for the guest in a way that gives them snippets.
Yep.
You become a better tour guide, but everyone at the end has a better night. That's your purpose. To have a great night, not to like push you slightly past where you were comfortable. Mm-hmm. Don't do that.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move on?
Let's do it.
Because I got a little treat for you.
Oh man, what's next?
Let's go find out.